Welcome to 100bytes.com. In the last video, we have seen about the concepts, terminology, and the basic introduction about OAuth2.0 and OpenID Connect standard. In this video, we will see about the OAuth server which I used to explain the concepts of OAuth2.0 and OpenID Connect, and a sample project which I created to explain these concepts. And finally, we will see about the service discovery endpoint. The OAuth server the auth server which I am using it for this demo is like Connect2ID server, which you can download it from the connect2id.com. I'm using this server because it is very lightweight and easy to set it up. It supports all the flows of OAuth2 and OpenID. Basically, this can also be used for enterprise purpose also. I'm using a trial version of it, and the server runs in the Tomcat server. We will see how this server is helpful in understanding the concepts of OAuth 2.0 and OpenID Connect. To understand the flows of the OAuth 2.0 and OpenID Connect, I have created a project called OAuth demo. This is uploaded to the Bitbucket 100bytes.com account under code repo. This repo is a public repo. You can use it. You can download the code and feel free to use it for understanding purpose. This OAuth demo project runs in the Grizzly web server. I have coded in a way like where this OAuth flows and the server related codes are bifurcated properly, so that if you want to use this OAuth flow codes in some other server like Jetty and all, you can use it easily. I'll explain you how to use that one. I'm going to this OAuth demo project, where we have the public and the like a source folder, and it also has the readme which explain you how to uh, test this code, as well as how to run this code in a different server. This public folder has the all the HTML files, which is actually like helper files to show the flows happening in the OAuth and OpenID Connect execution. And then in the the source folder has Java codes. In this, like, two packages are there, like flows and the resource package. Resource package is like where the server related stuffs are there. This key store folder has the keys which is used for SSL connection. If you want, you can use it. This main gate.java is the actual starting point. Suppose if you want to run it with your Grizzly server itself, you can just download this source code, set the required Grizzly server dependency files, and start the main gate.java as like a Java application, and you are good to go to test this OAuth demo project. This main gate.java, I have mounted all these flows in the different endpoints, like all the code for authorization code flow, implicit flow, client credential flow, resource owner flow, refresh token, token introspect, token revoke, and various client authentication. All these are mounted on these endpoints. And now coming to this OAuth flows package. This package has the actual real OAuth flow source codes. We will see. I will explain you all these source codes if in the forthcoming series, when I'm going to explain the corresponding concepts. Out of this source code, this OAuth 2.0 is a utility class where all the client ID and the secrets are coded here. Suppose if you are using a different OAuth server other than this Connect2ID, then you can just register the client, get the client ID and secret, you add it here. Basically, you can see here like a issuer, auth URL, token URL, introspect URL, all these things and all, you just add it and start the testing. Let's assume, like, if you want to use this source code in your own server, it can be any other, it can be Jetty or WebLogic, whatever it is. You just need to import a package of this OAuth flows package and just modify the OAuth 2.0 .java with your client ID and secret and execute the flows. We will explore more detail on this source codes in the later videos. Now this service discovery endpoint. What is service discovery endpoint? Service discovery endpoint is the source of truth for the OAuth server, where it exposes all the details which is required by the client, from the authentication, login, protected resources, scopes to the like a signing part, etc. A lot of things is exposed. We will see one by one. Basically, this service discovery endpoints are mounted on the like exposed in the .well-known/OpenID configuration, or it can also be OAuth configuration, but most of the OAuth servers exposes in the OpenID configuration. In the service discovery, you have the list of the endpoints and the information. First is an issuer. The issuer is the one which is which will be persisted in your access token, saying like who issued this token. And next is a JWK URI, that is Java web key set URI. I have accessed this JWK JSON endpoint. You see like the all the keys which is you see set of keys exposed. This key is like basically this key is used by the clients or the resource server to verify the authenticity of the token issued. You can see like the usage is signing purpose, this key is and it is an RSA key, and next is something like an epic key. So similarly, something like that. It depends upon the word server. They can list on many keys, JWK keys, which is used for the signing or encryption purpose. And the next is an authorization endpoint. This is an endpoint where this client has to call for the for the starting of the OAuth flow. The next is a token endpoint. This token endpoint is called to get the actual access token. Basically, this will be called after all the formalities are done for the corresponding flow. For example, if it is an like a authorization code flow, user has to enter their username and password and provide the consent to access the scopes. In turn, the OAuth server would have given the code, and using that they have to call this token endpoint to get the token. Basically, like these formalities will be different from the each flows. We will see more detail in the later part of this series. Next is an user info endpoint. This endpoint is where actual user info details will be there. This is protected. This is an OAuth protected resources. Similar to this resources, you can have many other resources. Like for example, in the Google, you'll get the Gmail. I mean, like a Google Drive, for photos.google.com. All those things are the protected resources. Similar to in the Facebooks, they can have their own endpoints in the Twitter, something like that. Next is the registration endpoint, is like where this OAuth client will be registered. Introspection endpoint is an endpoint which is mostly used by the resource server to introspect the token which is issued by the OAuth server. Basically, this token is issued by the OAuth server to the client, and the client will send this token to the resource server to access the protected resources, which in turn called as introspection endpoint to verify this token. And next is a revocation endpoint. Just its name depicts like to revoke the issued token. It also lists down the what are the scopes supported. So in this case, OpenID means like a like OpenID connect, that is like ID token will be issued. The profile, email address, well, it varies between the different servers. It's up to the OAuth server implementation. And the response type supported, which we have seen in the first video. Next is the grant type supported. It supports almost all the flows like implicit authorization code, refresh token, password, client credential, and the jot bearer token. Also it says like what are the auth modes it supported for the client to authenticate itself with the OAuth server, from basic, post, jot, private key jot, etc. It also lists down the what are the like algorithms which is used to sign the token. Pretty much actually all the information which is required for the OAuth client to use it. If you want to start on the OAuth on OpenID Connect, you have to first access the service discovery endpoint to get all the required information. Maybe for example, if I'm the new user, first it access to register the client. That is registration endpoint is that what is the endpoint to call the login, and what is the endpoint to get call the token to get access token, and what are the resources, what is the scope supported, and how to authenticate, how to verify the authenticity of access token. So everything will be explained here. That's it about the service discovery endpoint and introduction about the OAuth demo project. We will see more demonstration in the later videos. Thanks for watching this. Please visit 100bytes.com for more tutorials. Thank you.